The coronavirus that has been going around this summer is expected to be tamed after hitting its peak this week. But the spread also rings alarm bells over the need to secure locally developed and approved antiviral treatments. We're joined by Dr. Seung-taek for more this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So the resurgence of COVID here in South Korea was initially expected to hit its peak this week, but some analysts note that the spread isn't as bad as we all thought. Is that so?
Well, first of all, we are actually experiencing two surges of COVID-19. This year and then the last year, but these surges are actually different from those that we actually experienced during the early COVID-19. And then during that time, no one was actually immune to this new virus, but now everyone is. It's got just immunity, whether it was from infection or just vaccination. Now we are what it means is that now we are just better protected against this virus compared to the previous years.
Well, the reason why the resurgence this time was so concerning is that we kind of ran out of those antiviral treatments. Now, why is it that we experienced a shortage of antiviral medicine to treat COVID in the first place?
Well, all the antiviral drugs are actually being imported from outside, and then I think this is simply a matter of the estimation of future events and then some budget planning issues. Other than that, I think maybe we have to think about some expiration of the drugs that we already have obtained.
Well, Dr. Kim, do remind us, what COVID treatment do we have access at the moment?
Well, according to some U.S. guideline, the first option is the Paxlovid, and the second is remdesivir, and the third one is molnupiravir, and the lastly is the convalescent plasma. But in Korea, maybe maybe priorities might be just different from those guidelines from the U.S. But anyway, Paxlovid is still the number one choice for the COVID-19 patients.
Right, and now that COVID has become more of a seasonal illness that comes and goes around like the flu, which is why there are growing calls for approving a local COVID treatment. What local options do we have on the table for now?
Well, there was we actually developed our own COVID-19 antiviral drug, which was actually monoclonal antibody developed by the Celltrion. But one of the caveat of this monoclonal antibody is that this is very vulnerable to the variant. I mean, most of the variant has some mutations on the spike gene, which actually makes the virus evade from the neutralization capacity by the monoclonal antibody. But this one was now no more recommended for the treatment of COVID-19. But there were some other. It's not really not for just Korea, but other some sort of local treatment developed by some specific countries. For example, like some Zokova, which is actually generic. The generic name is actually the antiviral. That was actually developed by the Shionogi in Japanese company. But they actually conducted clinical trials with the Iltong Pharmaceutical in Korea, and that was sort of co-developed with our own side. And then another drug, this was actually developed by the Chinese company, the Simnotravir. But these are actually Japanese drug, and then Chinese drug are only available in Japan and in China only.
Well, then how far are we actually from getting official approval for all these options that you've just mentioned?
Well, since we already have a pretty very potent antiviral drugs that I actually talked about, well, there is no immediate plan to approval of such drugs that I talked about. It's simply a matter of the Korean FDA's process and approval.
Well, then what do you suggest we do or need to do to prevent more resurgences like this time?
Well, I think resurgences sort of just inevitable, just a process. It's just a process of transitioning from the some pandemic to the some endemic processes. But this virus, SARS-CoV-2, which is a causative agent COVID-19, is very interesting, and it is very different from the some other respiratory viruses. For example, like some influenza viruses. The influenza virus is sort of just a winter virus. It's just the virus transmits just better in the cold and the dry weather. But then this COVID-19, the SARS-CoV-2, even it actually spreads well in the some tropical just areas. So it is quite just different. But then the important thing is that now we have to focus on the people with the some high risk factors. For example, like old age and then underlying just medical condition. As I told earlier, just now almost all is just now got just immunity against this virus. But these vulnerable people, they are very easily just progress to the severe disease even after just a simple just infection. So now we have to focus on the how to protect these vulnerable people against this COVID-19.
Right, and before getting infected with COVID, there's always precautions and preventive measures. Do you recommend that people in all age groups get vaccinated, every summer or every winter? What do you think?
Well, there's some sort of just a debate for that, but I strongly encourage that if you believe that you are among the some vulnerable people, maybe just a vaccination might just protect you, and also a very timely treatment with antiviral drugs actually substantially decrease the rate of the progressing to severe diseases.
Alrighty, Dr. Kim, thank you so much for your time and your insight this morning. You have a lovely day.
Thank you.